You know, every single business out there is talking, all the time. Your local coffee shop, that huge tech company, all of them, they're constantly sending out signals. But with all that noise, how do you actually figure out what a business is really trying to say? I mean, think about it. How does a business speak? It speaks with every sale it makes, every dollar it spends, every person it hires. It's just this constant flood of data. And honestly, without some kind of framework, it's all just noise. We need a translator.
And that translator? It's called accounting. Now, before your eyes glaze over thinking about endless spreadsheets, let's look at it a different way. Forget the complicated math for a second. At its heart, accounting is just a system we use to track how money moves. It's how we check a company's financial pulse, to see if it's healthy, if it's growing, or if it's in a bit of trouble.
You've probably heard this phrase before, right? Accounting is the language of business, but it's so much more than just a clever saying. It is the absolute truth. If you really want to understand what a business is up to and how well it's doing, you've got to learn to speak the language.
So, if accounting is a language, how do we speak it? Well, like any language you've ever learned, it all starts with grammar. There are just a few basic rules that give it all structure and meaning.
And get this language really only has 3 main rules. First, you record every single financial thing that happens, no matter how small. Think of it like writing down every single word the business says. Next, you classify all those transactions, sorting them into logical groups, like separating your nouns from your verbs. And finally, you summarize everything by putting all that data into simple, easy-to-read reports. And that's it. That's the whole process. By just following those 3 simple steps, you take this chaotic jumble of individual transactions and you turn it into a story that actually makes sense. A story that tells you exactly what a business did with its money. So these stories are called financial reports. And you've definitely heard of the 2 main chapters in this book. You've got the income statement, which tells you if the business is actually profitable, and then there's the balance sheet, which is like a snapshot of the company's financial health at one specific moment. Here, take a look at this super simplified income statement. All it's really showing is the money that came in, we call that revenue, and the money that went out, which we call expenses. That number at the bottom, the difference between them, that's the net income. That's the punchline. It's the final number that tells you if, after all was said and done, the business actually made money. See? It's pretty straightforward. So this is the magic trick we're talking about. We go from this messy pile of raw data on the left, which is confusing, it's not useful at all, to the clear, organized information you see on the right. We are literally turning financial chaos into financial clarity.
But why bother with all this? It's not just about having tidy books. The entire reason we translate all this business activity into reports is to make smarter decisions. Should we hire more people? Can we afford that new piece of equipment? Where are we wasting money? This information, it gives you the answers. And that's really all it is. This whole powerful process just boils down to those 3 simple steps: record, classify, and summarize. That's it. That's the simple grammar that unlocks the entire language of business.
So now you have the key. With this simple framework, you can start to understand the stories that companies are telling with their numbers every single day. The only question left is, what story are you going to read first?